Hey everyone, Blockchain Bernie here with my latest episode, and this is about meme coins and meme stocks for that matter. Why do they actually work? What are the mechanics behind it? Why do people invest in meme coins and meme stocks while they could just as easily invest in something real that will generate them real returns at some point in the future, right? And meme coins, they only rely on you can sell them at a later point to other people for a higher price. Does that sound familiar? It sounds like Ponzi scheme, right? So somehow it is similar to a Ponzi scheme. I would not say all meme coins or meme stocks are Ponzi schemes, but it has some aspects of it, right? So, and Warren Buffett has a very clear view of that, and I will talk about that in this video and all the mechanics on why this works. So, if you like content like this, don't forget to give this video a like. It is really, really important for the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And also subscribe to my channel if you're interested in more blockchain content. All right, so meme coins, meme stocks, when I talk about meme stocks, I think about GameStop, right? And, I was in there also in GameStop. And the latest, and there are some meme coins, right? Dogecoin is very famous. And, there's other things like Shiba Inu, the dollar SHIB token, and SafeMoon, and all these type of things. And the latest one is called PayPay. So let's look into PayPay here, and I'll give you a quick rundown here. What is PayPay coin, right? So this is from Decrypt, a very, very reputable blog about crypto and everything. This is from April 20th, right? So that was before the big run, right? So feel free to read all that, right? It's like they describe themselves as the most memeable meme coin in existence, and then they say, well, the dogs have had their days, which is probably true. So, and they have it here. Dogs have had their day, and yeah, they are just copying Elon Musk memes here and say all systems currently green for launch. That's what Elon posted, and they just retweet it and say all systems currently green for launch, dollar PayPay, and it launched on April 17th with little fanfare, and but it surged. It absolutely surged. And then they had some famous people buying it, and they tweeted about it, and this is kind of the snowball effect about popularity, right? It is like the psychology of being in a trend, and then the fear of missing out, because you think like, okay, if these people are pushing it and these people, and it's actually fun, and because it's fun, you think like so many people will jump on it, so you jump on it fast in order to be earlier than others, to be able to sell at some point at a higher price. And this is not, I would not call this investing. And I'm at my heart, I'm an investor. I mean, I'm a buy and hold investor, right? I have so much stock, and I'm an early Apple shareholder. I'm a relatively early Tesla shareholder, and all of these things, and I've made great returns with all that, right? And I love investing, because I'm an entrepreneur and business owner myself. I would love people, investors that are with a project long term, and back the project, rather than buying and then 3 days later selling in order to make a quick profit. That doesn't help the entrepreneur, right? So that's why I'm, more the investor personality. But, there are so many people, and, I cannot say I'm not like that, right? I mean, we're all humans, and we all like to gamble, or parts of us like to gamble, right? And, and that's why those meme coins work. And if you can get publicity, right? And publicity can be, earned attention, earned PR, or it can be paid PR, right? So you can buy ads to get popular, or you can get the snowball rolling by getting some famous people that tweet about it, right? And it seems like PayPay was quite successful with that. So Decrypt is giving us a little bit of a rundown here of how the history was. But then if you look at the price chart, and I'm going not for the price of the token here. I find that crazy. And then it's like, this is 0.00, and you can't even read that, right? So if I see this price here, 0.00938051, and then I see this peak here of 0.00, I don't even know how many less zeros are these here, right? And interestingly, it went up to 420. So, and they're using the 420 meme also in order to push their PayPay token. But if you switch here onto market cap, you see that the peak, on May 5th, my daughter's birthday, and also Cinco de Mayo, and probably also an important day for many people, the market cap went up to $1.825 billion, right? And now it has, given back a little bit, but we're still at almost $800 million, right? So it's not too far from the $1 billion mark still as we speak today. So I mean, this is that's the latest meme rally. And then some people say, oh, now we sell all the other serious crypto projects because, if people are so crazy and go for these meme coins, then probably all of crypto is bad, right? And that obviously is a wrong conclusion, right? And that would be the same with stocks. You cannot say, oh, because people like GameStop, all of the other stocks are crap, right? It's just not the right conclusion. And yeah, that's how these meme coins work. It's all about, getting publicity, getting public attention, writing something that gets viral, getting people that have a lot of reach, like celebrities or so, to tweet about it or post about it, and then it's real, right? I'm not saying that meme coins are like, you should never do anything with them or so. I never did, except like tiny amounts of Dogecoin, just because I liked Elon that much back in the day. But if you know what you're doing and you're gambling somehow, right? And there's that whole gambling industry. I'm in Las Vegas here, so there's lots of gambling, and people gamble a lot, and I like they do that because that's the reason the state of Nevada can have so low taxes, right? So, and yeah, if you're more into trading and shorter term traders, not an investor, right? And you like the fun of it, and you play it with amounts that you can absolutely afford to lose, right? So if you do something with meme coins, it should be less than 0.1% of your total net worth, right? Otherwise, you would just be crazy, right? And unless you have too much money and you just want to burn it, right? Because it is tricky to time the market. You need to time the market, right? If you went in on May 5th at the high point, the peak, then today it's almost half, right, in just a few days. So yeah, and it's always tough to time the market, but some people are successful with that. Some people make profits, and all the profits that these people make are the losses that other people make, right? And most of the time, it's many, many more people that make the losses, just because the few people that make the gains have huge gains, right? that's because they have an advantage. They either created it, or they were close to the creators, or they are one of the people that are amplifying it, one of the influencers. And yeah, those people just have an advantage, right? And just regular people like you and me, we might make a profit off of it. And I'm not in PayPay, and I haven't bought anything or any SHIB or SafeMoon or stuff like that, right? I only, as I said, a tiny amount of Doge. And but what I did with the GameStop thing, right? And that was on the very, very, very first day, right? And I was lucky enough to follow some good guys on Twitter, right? And they informed me, and it was on that day I got so many tweets from different people like, this stock is so much shorted, right? And it's so ridiculously undervalued, and they have that new CEO that has the new plan with them to go more and more e-commerce and do more on the web and stuff like that. So that to me was an investment, because I saw this stock was undervalued, this stock was oversold, and so many people have been short selling it. So there can be what's called a short squeeze, right? Because if so many people have shorted it and it doesn't come down anymore, then they all have to buy the stock back, which pushes up the price. So it was really on that day, and I remember I was on Oahu that day on Hawaii, so I needed to get up really early, because 9:30 Eastern time, when the stock exchange opens, it's 6:30 here in the West Coast, but it's 3:30 a.m. in Hawaii, right? So I basically stayed awake until 3:30 a.m. and bought some GameStop for $20, right? And I sold most of it at 160 a couple of weeks later, and made some good profits with that. And it's been fun, right? And I was ready to keep these things for longer, because I thought it is a trade, but I thought it's also an investment, right? If the trade doesn't work, I was ready to stay in there in the long run. But then I saw it, shoot up to $160, and I just thought, like, man, but it's at 160, it's probably overvalued. and I thought, like, man, that was my meme stock experience, and I sold them at 160. And that was a fun experience. And why am I telling you this story? It means, like, it's not like meme stuff, meme coins, meme stock is always bad, right? I personally look at fundamentals also, and not only the meme things, as I did with GameStop. And yeah, but there's always going to be that psychology. It's just human psychology. And it's always going to be there, and don't be surprised if it happens over and over and over again. And most of the time it's like real melt ups, and then followed by real meltdowns, right? So yeah, that's how this all worked. I hope this was informative for you. If so, do not forget to give me that like. I really appreciate it. And subscribe to my channel to get more videos. I post 3 times a week about all things blockchain, and also about my own project, Bitoku.io, which is adding a storage layer to smart contract chains, which is not a meme coin. It is some real stuff that we're building here, and it's more like a software company than some crypto or meme stuff or anything. It is real techie stuff with and solving real world problems. And if you want to know more about Bitoku, just click the link in the description, bitoku.io, and you can even be part of it and purchase nodes to run one of the very first validator nodes in that upcoming blockchain. All right, thanks for watching, and catch you guys later. Bye.